What's up, guys? I want to do a video on trigger control. I did one on basically how to grip your handgun. This one's more on trigger control. Trigger control is one of the most important things as far as getting accurate shots off. Trigger basic grip will help you control the firearm, keep your malfunctions down, stuff like that, and just basically being able to run the gun. But trigger squeeze and trigger pull is what's going to cause you to have accurate shots or inaccurate shots if you jerk it. So this is a Glock 30. I chose to bring out a Glock 30 today because it's a kind of a bigger caliber gun. It's in a smaller package, so it can be offset like if I was shooting a Glock 17 or Glock 34 or something that's, you know, really small caliber and a big handgun that's really easy to shoot. And this one isn't necessarily hard to shoot at all. It just kind of mitigates any of that, like, you know, that you have to have good basically trigger control and good grip on this gun to get it to run right and run accurately. So basically on how you're going to address your trigger pull on this is a striker fired gun. This pretty much works across the board though with striker fired, single action, double action, whatever. On your first pull, like I said, this gun's obviously clear, magazine's out. You're going to have a good grip, good thumbs forward grip on your gun, you know, filling that void in your hand there. Thumbs stacked on each other, you're going to push out nice and solid. You're going to make contact with the trigger, and when you do, you're going to find your front sight, and 100% of your focus is going to be on that front sight. It's going to be crystal clear. Everything else is going to have a little blur to it. Rear sight's going to be a little blurry, and the target's going to be a little blurry. And basically, once you make, they call that your sight picture, when you fire one round, you're going to have two sight pictures. One, when you squeeze the trigger, it's going to recoil. Two, you're going to find that front sight again. It's going to be the first thing you want to bring focus on. Is back to the front sight, just like you're going to take another shot, whether you do or whether you don't. If you fire 2 rounds, you have 3 sight pictures. 4 rounds, you have 5 sight pictures. If you get the point, you find that every time after your shot. What causes some inaccuracy issues too is it's kind of like pulling out of a golf swing. You squeeze, bang, you don't fall through because you want to see where you hit. You want to look over the gun. Whoa, is that a good shot or was it not? Well, it felt good. Where'd it go? You got to kind of break yourself that habit. The next thing you want to see when that round goes off is that front sight. Bang, front sight. Bang, front sight. Choose not to shoot, but I've seen my front sight. Now let's see where I shot. If you kind of get the point on that. That's the first thing you see. You know, you squeeze the trigger, and it's the next thing you see after the round goes off. What else I want to cover is your trigger press. And basically what I see, you know, a lot of new shooters do, or even some guys who've been shooting for a long time, is they address the trigger. Whether they do or don't take up the slack, or whether your gun has slack in it, like a 1911 won't have much slack in a single action trigger, but a striker gun will. All striker fired guns have some sort of slack. So you got this slack to take up. So basically once you make contact with that trigger, you're going to make contact, you're going to find the front sight, and when you're ready to shoot, you press. And then you capture the trigger to the rear. You're not going to let that trigger go. You know, whether you decide to take the next round, you're going to just come out enough. You can see here, come out enough. And you should be able to hear that until the trigger resets. That's when you stop. Then you press again, press. And it goes off. You're going to capture it, and you decide not to shoot, that's fine. You let it go, and index your finger on the side of the gun, off the trigger. So basically how that's going to go down, once you make contact with the trigger, you've made a conscious decision to shoot, you find that front sight, and you squeeze. And you can say it in your head, or you can say it out loud, you might get some funny looks if there's people around, is you want to say press, press, as the gun goes off. You want it to almost surprise you, but what you don't want to do is what I see a lot of guys do, they'll get the first part of it right when you're taking up the slack. They'll say, okay, press, and then they stop because it gets hard. They know it's going to fire, and they go right now, right now. And that's how you get basically pulled shots, you know, low shots, low left a lot of times if you're a right-handed shooter, low right if you're a left-handed shooter. And, you know, a lot of guys will come out, I think these sights are off, you know, they're shooting left. Well, you can usually go in there and run good trigger control, and usually point of impact is point of aim. So a lot of times it's not the gun, it's just basically a bad habit of doing that, squeezing the trigger. And what I like to do is a lot of times is just start out with some dry fire shots. When I get to the range, I'm going to come up, you know, see my target, make a good hard focus on that front sight, and press, right? Nice hard focus, let the striker out to reset, or let it reset, trigger, press. And what that does is kind of starts to train my brain that you know, nothing bad's happening. You know, it's wanting to, it kind of getting over that anxiety or that need to flinch, I guess, when you're squeezing the trigger. So I just want to find it, reset, press, let it go off. So we'll try it with live fire here. I'm going to do those same steps I told you. I'm going to rack the gun. So we got a live gun. This is the downrange area. I'm going to get my good thumbs forward grip. Come in, take a hard focus on that front sight. Address the trigger, and I'm going to press. Found the front sight again. I'm going to reset. Press. Reset. Press. Reset. Reset. Gun's empty. Clear. It's down. So we're going to look at the target here. So this is only about 3 yards away. It's not very far. But this is the group here. Just kind of blasted out here. But if you look at it, it's pretty much a, you know, center group. There looks like there might be a flyer up a little high right here. But that shows you there's nothing low. Low is usually bad trigger press. If it's high, it could just be my side alignment as the gun went off. So that's a pretty good group. As far as, it's only 3 yards. It's not, we're not shooting very far, but we're not getting any low shots, and that's what we're looking for. Nothing low left, low right, anywhere down here, because that's going to tell us we got a bad trigger squeeze, and we're doing something, we're jerking, you know, something in our trigger pull that's not right. So hopefully, let's see, we'll run through it one more time with live fire. So you can see it. I'll put 5 more rounds in. It's funny, once you're used to shooting 9, these things seem gargantuan in 45. So we'll try it again. Like I said, insert the magazine. Nice slingshot. Let it go. Make sure that slide inertia loads that gun. Don't ride it forward. Once again, nice thumbs forward grip. We're going to push out. Find that front sight. Make contact. Press. Reset it. Press. Reset it. Press. Reset it. Press. Reset it. Press. Gun's empty. Cleared. Let's take a look at that group. And we're about the same thing. You know, little high here. Got, you know, 1 in there. But all in all, you know, that's the size of my thumb or whatever. So we're got a good group going. Like I said, this is only 3 yards, so it's not like I'm shooting, you know, crazy distance or anything like that. But I normally train 3 to 5 yards. It's pretty rare that I shoot any farther than that, because I'm just working on defensive distances. But like I said, a lot of times you run a IDPA event or something like that, you'll shoot out to 18 or 20 yards. If you take a class, I've shot out to 50 yards in a class, and I've shot 100 yards at the rifle range with my handgun, you know, just to get kind of where bullet impact is to point of aim, which is actually pretty close. It's, you don't really have to compensate much. So anyways, guys, I just want to put that out there. Hopefully that helps you with your trigger squeeze. Maybe have a little, if you're having some accuracy issues at the range. And like I said, if you take nothing else from this video, just remember, press and capture that trigger. Let it go off. Capture it though. Don't make a conscious effort of holding your finger to the rear of that trigger. And then as it goes off, make a conscious effort, slowly let it out until you get a physical, you know, in a Glock, it gives you a nice, good tactile reset and audible. You can hear it and feel it. Once it clicks, you stop there, because there's no reason to go all the way out and get all that slack back. You've already fought that slack the first trigger pull. Don't let it come back. So press, click, goes off, bang, hold it, reset it, press. And when you do the second time after the reset, it's going to literally move just, you know, 1/8 of an inch. It doesn't take much to set that gun off after that. And that's the reason why you do it, because then you have less movement going on in your hand, which causes less chance of your gun or muzzle moving under trigger pull. So anyways, guys, just want to put it out there. So hopefully it helps you. Give it a try next time you're at the range, and let me know if it did you any good. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.